Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts,
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
Whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express.
Well, hey there. Welcome to episode 59.
Hey there to you, and to you I say hey.
Hey, hey.
Ho ho.
Hi, ho. Oh, boy.
Away.
Here we go.
Yep.
Into all the wonderful things that have happened or are happening over at Disney. It was a big week.
Was it a big week?
Announcements.
It was big in some circles. In some others, they would say it was kind of a meh.
Excuse me. I think the opening of the Flower and Garden Festival should be celebrated everywhere.
We're talking taupes? Are we ready to talk taupes?
I mean, all the taupes, but no, unfortunately, we're not diving into taupes today. We've got too much other news going on, and you guys are probably still tired of me talking taupes last year.
Talking news? What do you mean? It's been the most requested for segment. They said, bring that episode back.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm
telling you. It's all over. All over the interwebs.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we had some really good announcements, but before we jump into the excitement of 2025, what are the offers going on right now at Disney? You want to jump in there?
Oh.
Not at all. He's like, nope, I was just going to pop up my beer, and so I can't help you.
I love talking discounts and Visa cards. So that's what I'm all about. So the first one we have is the Florida resident Disney Thrills ticket.
That's right.
And what does that entail? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's a really great discount if you're a Florida resident. You can get a 2-day ticket for $199 plus tax, or if you choose to go for 3 days, you get it for $219 plus tax. That's a pretty steep discount.
That's
they
amazing.
do love their Florida residents. This discount started on January 11th, and it ends pretty soon. It's coming up here on March 15th. They're also valid during that time frame. So this is kind of the only time. It's ending soon. And the discounted tickets do include weekends if you were looking to go. Obviously, there's always a allotted amount of discounted tickets that they can give. So they do on occasion run out of these. But the discount will be over on March 15th.
That's a pretty sweet discount.
And you must have or make advanced reservations for these discounted tickets.
Advanced park. So there are some park reservations still?
Yeah, of course. So if you're not staying, if you don't have those dated tickets, so like, for example, you're staying on property and you have your tickets that are throughout the whole week, you don't need those reservations, right? They kind of, I think because you're using your app and you're getting everything, they kind of just generally know, right?
Okay.
And so if you are like a Florida resident or if you have annual passes and that kind of things, you do need to make reservations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
We're just outsiders. I didn't understand that would be.
That's all right. That's why we look up these things and get to know them, right?
Well, that's one thing we wanted to bring up real quick.
I don't know about that.
Me, I wanted to bring up.
Oh, boy. So here we go.
There's two things. This is Rob's soapbox. No, this is, so as you know, we are a podcast. As you are listening to it. I don't know. Podcast? And wherever you get your podcasts, they have the option to leave reviews and stuff. Ratings, stars, thumbs up, things like that. So, and it's known, anyone that's ever listened to a podcast, people tend to not you get like your friends and family and they leave reviews, and then it's hard to get anyone else to do anything. But occasionally you do get some reviews, but they do end up being somewhat negative.
Oh, yeah.
So we just noticed that we had one recently where somebody was they gave us a very low star, and they kind of brought up the fact, I think it was our dining plan episode.
Yes,
was what
when
they
the
listened
dining plans
to.
were just coming out.
And so they kind of commented on the fact that maybe we weren't sure on some details, which if this person had listened to any of the episodes, they know that most of the stuff coming out of my mouth is me being unsure about things. But in this case, they were questioning something about the souvenir mugs, like from the dining plan, where we're able to use them. Yeah. And then again, I think it was then there was something about, they said you don't need park hopper passes for the Disney dining plan, and that's
the Disney Plus
for the Disney Plus for the free Disney Plus dining plan promo, but in that case they were incorrect in there. Yeah, and I could see how it's confusing, but in that case they were incorrect. You do need the park hoppers to get that dining promo. Anyway, but what I was trying to get at was while we are travel agents and we do have a Disney podcast, there's a lot of information that comes through the Disney channels, not just the Disney Channel, like, talking about watching Doc McStuffins or something, but I'm saying that there's a lot of information that comes our way. It goes in and out. And while we take in a lot of it and we know a lot of it, sometimes we don't.
Sure. But as a travel agent, it's our job for our clients, if they have a particular specific question, we will find out, and we will ask our business development managers, who will ask the top
whatever, even if we have to call customer service. And that's the whole part of being a travel agent, is that while you are a knowledge base, you do have a great deal of knowledge of the Disney products in general, of everything. You don't know exactly everything, but you will go and find out so that the client doesn't have to, right? That's kind of like the whole thing.
That's the point.
Again, we try to be 100% accurate here. At least Abby does. I aim for somewhere in the low 70s. And we hope for the best. But before I get off my soapbox, while we're talking about rate and reviews, we would really appreciate it for our dedicated fan base, those of you out there that listen to us, that enjoy us. If you could take the time, wherever you listen to your podcast, if you could hit that thumbs up or those stars, give us as many or as little as you like. We just want to hear your feedback. Anything you have, we'd really appreciate it. Soapbox now removed.
Well, thanks. We really do try. And we sell a lot more other travel other than Disney. Rob and I just happen to be really in love with Disney. That's why we started this podcast.
That's why we're not like totally shilling like our travel services all the time. We just like talking about it and, looking up Disney lore and things like that.
We go a lot.
That's what I enjoy.
That's right. So back to it. All right. So we've got a couple other discounts going on this time of year. We've got the save up to 30% on rooms at select Disney resort hotels when you stay 5 nights or longer. This is for stays from most nights from March 25th to July 7th. And the resorts where you're going to save the most on the discounts, and this is going to be a little bit of a list, but I want to tell you, this is the resorts that you most likely will get the 30% on. Is Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort, Boulder Ridge Villas at Disney's Wilderness Lodge,
it's happening.
Copper Creek Villas at Cabins in Disney Wilderness Lodge.
This is a list.
Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Disney's Animal Kingdom Villas, Kidani Village, Disney's Beach Club, Disney's Boardwalk Inn, Disney's Contemporary Resort, Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Disney's Old Key West Resort, Disney's Riviera Resort, Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Disney's Yacht Club Resort, and the villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. So the remaining Disney resorts that I didn't name in there, they vary their discounts from 10% to 25%. So for example, the Polynesian is going to be in the low percentage range. They really don't like to give discounts there. But just in case those were in your list of must go tos between March 25th and July 7th, you can get some discount off. And like any discount, it's all dependent on availability. And sometimes that availability goes real quick.
It's a pretty good deal. I mean, if you're staying 5 nights, that is a long vacation. But if you are planning to do that, I think we're staying on our upcoming trip is going to be beyond that. But it doesn't, we don't qualify, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty good discounts.
Really good. So Florida residents.
Check with your travel agent to find out if you're eligible. That's the good thing about having a travel agent. They'll check for you.
They will. And Florida residents, they also save up to 30% on rooms at select Disney resorts in the spring and the early summer. It's the same idea as the list I just read to you, but you would receive the discount from a 1-night stay and up. So instead of the 5-night and longer, if you're a Disney Florida resident, you could just stay 1 night and save the 30%. This is also from March 25th, July 7th. And I can't tell you how many locals go to Disney and stay just 1 night because it's either 2 hours away from where they live or whatnot. And you just want to be immersed in the experience. So there's a lot of folks who do this. And so jump in on those
I can't wait to
discounts.
I can't wait until we're snowbirds and see how we... what we end up doing.
I know it. Might have been on realtor.com the other day just saying, just looking, just putzing around.
I want to be a snowbird.
Well, as soon as possible, please. So we get asked this a lot. A lot of clients have said, is it worth opening a Disney Visa card if you were visiting Disney? Now, I've given a variety of answers for a family that is only going to Disney once and not staying on Disney property and just wants to use it for tickets. This is not the card for you. But if you're thinking about going a couple times because of your kids are the right age or you like to get those Disney bucks for Christmas gifts or whatever, this might be the card for you. So card member perks, such as special resort rates during certain times are pretty frequent. So for example, March 25th through April 27th, which spring break time, guys, that's a pretty big deal. Disney Boardwalk Inn Resort, a view of a room would be like a resort view. Sorry, room. I'm not saying that correctly, but it with this discount with your Visa card, it would be for $419 per night. A standard non-discounted price for this room is usually about $660, and with tax, you're looking at $743.63. So $490 plus tax, that's a pretty nice discount with the Disney Visa card. For resorts, it's something to consider, but you can check out when those discounts come out. And there really aren't discounts on tickets, like I was saying, but things can always change. Disney is always surprising us with these things. We personally like those Disney dollars. So if you become a Disney Premier Visa card holder, you earn 2% in Disney Rewards dollars on purchase at gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants, and most Disney US locations. So it's $2 Disney Reward dollars for every $100 you spend, which is $2. Yep. And you get a little Disney card that you can use at Disney locations, which is really great. And everywhere else, other than those places I named, like the grocery store or gas station, you would get 1% on those purchases. So there are some things to consider.
Plus, I have a Baby Yoda Disney card.
That's so true.
It's very true.
Everybody always comments on my cards and your card, I'm assuming too. Yeah. It's really cool.
It even shows up. But there's cool things. There's also stuff like in the parks, you get special like when you go to Hollywood Studios, we always seem to miss it somehow, but they'll give like a special, like you'll be able to meet Darth Vader.
That's right.
Only for Disney Visa card members. So there's cool things like that.
And you get percentages off if you're spending a certain amount in the shops at Disney and the parks. You get some
your
percentage
bill,
off.
Your restaurant, your checks and stuff like that, you get 10% off.
So I promise you, this is not a pro Disney Visa card or anything. It's just letting you know that this is another way that you can save if you are going more frequently.
We're not telling you to use promo code DHE when you sign up. No, I wish.
Just kidding. I wish.
But anyway.
But I mean, we can jump into our exciting announcement unless you wanted to talk a little bit about your piece.
No, let's go on an exciting announcement.
Announcement. I mean, you've probably heard, if you're listening to a Disney podcast and you love Disney, you probably already know this. But Disney suddenly, without warning, opened up the 2025 dates.
It was kind of
all the way
bananas.
until October. Bananas.
It was like out of nowhere. Like it was funny because we just had friends that contacted me that were like, we want to go to Disney for spring break next in 2025.
Right.
And they were like, when do dates usually come up? And I asked Abba, I was like, when do dates? Like, usually it's
like June.
Yeah. Like June is when they release their reservations. And then it was like the very next day, they released a promo. And then in the promo, it said that like for 2020, it hit it kind of. It wasn't even like 2025
like
dates
the
will
third,
be released on the 27th of February. Yeah, it was like so weird. And then like the next day we got like, oh, they're having they were like invited to a Zoom call for travel agents.
But it was so much weirder than that.
Yeah.
I was invited to a Zoom call for just travel agents only, but like 45 minutes before the call was taking place because they also didn't know.
So they got on the call and they
were
like,
definitely like shuffling things around
like,
and trying to figure it out.
Welcome to our very last minute Zoom call.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. I appreciate that they put out the information and they handed out some travel agent only product stuff that we can reference. And so I appreciate that very much. But it was just kind of funny because I was not ready. I like put on a yoga video for one of the kids to like entertain them while I'm like trying to
while we're like watching and listening.
Be like in it. But anyways, so exciting news. So we can book now all the way through October of 2025.
Woohoo.
Which is it's great. I mean, that covers a lot, right?
It covers up to October.
Almost. I mean, but I'm thinking about like festivals and stuff. It covers a lot. So
not so scary.
One of the announcements that came with this is that Disney Resort guests in 2025 get complimentary water park access on their check-in day.
Which, when I first heard it, I was kind of like, come on, Disney. It's not like they're offering the water parks like they're obviously trying to promote the water park as a thing because everyone just is like, the four main theme parks and then forget everything else that's happening. But they do have water parks. We never really think of going to them, but they're just offering it to you on the day you check in.
Right.
Which again, I kind of have a tendency, like you normally get into you're normally there like maybe late afternoon by the time you get to your resort and stuff.
Right.
Are you then going to like, all right, kids, let's go change into our swimsuits and hop on a bus to Disney Springs, which then brings you to a water park? And
right. It doesn't, there's part of me that's like, what a great idea, because I remember, I think it was like 3 trips ago, we got to Art of Animation and we were just waiting, right, to get into our rooms.
Yes,
it just took forever. But at that same time, we just kind of dug into our suitcase, found the swim gear and went to the pools there because the resorts have great pools,
I mean, look,
so I understand it's not like a water slide or whatever, or a lazy river. But they're good. But in any case, I think this is an interesting offering. I'm wondering why they only wanted to do it this one day on check-in day. Like, if they think it's going to increase or if it's already at capacity and they didn't want to increase it. They just wanted to give an incentive. I mean, either way, it got me looking into the parks.
Yes.
And so
we decided to kind of let's talk about the water parks because they are Disney property and they have the Disney touch and feel to it. We were just watching a video tour of the,
They do look cute and they look good. And you know what? The weirdest part about the videos that we were watching is that the food looked really appealing. I am not a person who wants to eat food at a water park. Like those don't go hand in hand for me. But Disney's really done themselves well with this food items. They have these really yummy miniature donuts, and I can just looking at them, I can taste them. I know exactly what they taste like, and they come with the sauce, like the chocolate sauce and everything.
Like a VR experience.
They look really good. Yeah,
water park beignets.
Pretty much. I mean, they've got that kind of fried but a little crisp. Oh,
one of the videos we were watching, I didn't catch the name of the and give her a shout out of the YouTuber that was doing them. Yeah, but she was like, I came across these tacos here, and she's like, I gotta say, I've never had better tacos in Disney property than right here, which is strange.
And she's like eating fish tacos, which was like, okay.
Well, good for you.
But but they looked really good. I'm not gonna lie, all of that stuff looked really good. And she was just like, I prefer I think it was the Asian shallot or something. And I'm like, really? You can get all that stuff there? So it's pretty convenient, I think. And what I did like about her review too was that she said there is not a lack of seating here. You will always find a chair. And I'm telling you, at the resorts, that's actually a problem.
Yeah. We've done it where we couldn't find.
You had to shark crazy.
Where we just threw our stuff outside of the pool area.
Yep.
And then you're like, I don't know, my stuff might be there when I get back. I don't really,
what can I do about it though? People just park them bodies and they don't move.
But that is an issue when you go to the resorts.
But let's look at some of the things at these. There's two water parks. If you don't know, there's Typhoon Lagoon and there's Blizzard Beach.
Now, are those water parks open at the same time?
Traditionally they have not been open at the same time, which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
why not do?
Yeah, I mean, as I've discovered throughout this research, is Typhoon Lagoon, it's typically open about 8 months in the year, while Blizzard Beach is typically open about 4 months in the year. And it seems that Blizzard Beach is open more in the winter times. All of their experiences, with the exception of one, which is the melting snow in the ice cave, all their experiences there have heated pools and waters, and they're heated to about 80 degrees. So, I mean, that's a pretty, of course, it would be nice to have a heated area in the winter months. So that being said, this could definitely change for sure. But traditionally, it seems like Typhoon Lagoon, it's open up longer, the 8 months of the spring, summer, fall, and Blizzard Beach is usually open up in the winter. Now, one of the things I noticed right away was that you don't get wait times in the app at these water parks. There are old school boards there where they switch out the timing of how long the waits are at the rides. And I'm telling you, it's not even electronic. It's one of those slide boards where you slide in 15-minute wait or whatever, which just makes me giggle this day and age. But I get it, right? You don't want to put a whole bunch of electronics where it's going to be wet all the time, right?
Right.
I guess it would just cause a lot of problems. So the typical hours of the water parks has been 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., but there are some occasional longer days that go till about 8 p.m. in the summer months. And I'd love to look up, and I didn't look it up. It kind of passed my mind, but I know that there's certain nights where they do things like H2O glow nights.
That's what I was just looking up.
Yeah. So maybe you can speak more on those.
Sure.
But especially during Pride Month, they had a lot of really great parties over at the pools, which is cool. Another thing to note about the water parks is there's no Genie Plus or Lightning lanes. You're going to be just hanging out in the lines with the best of them. But you know what? These line waits, they didn't look terrible. It looked like about 15 minutes. It's a smaller place. There's not going to be crazy overwhelmingness. That being said, of course it gets crowded. It's a park. That's what it's there for. People want to go and enjoy. There are no ride photographers or photographs, and there's no photo passer photographers. Photographers. I'm not saying
understand.
that well either.
I wouldn't want, people generally don't want to be, they don't want to be, taken pictures of in their wet swimsuits.
No, that's true. It's probably a big privacy concern and that kind of thing. So, you're not going to find any of that. But they do have little areas where there are good photo op moments that you can have with your family, like the Mickey that's made out of the rafts and everything. It's very cute. So, to get to the water parks on Disney bus transportation, it's really important to know that most of the year you will not be able to go from your resort. That being said, during the summer, they usually do have direct buses to your water parks from your resort, but most of the time you won't. You will need to head to Disney Springs from your resort, and then you will get a transfer bus to the water parks from there. So if you decide to drive yourself, the water parks have free parking, which is great. A lot of people just end up taking an Uber over to the water parks because they feel like wasting the time on the buses is not worth it. It is shorter time. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. if you're trying to fit it all in that little amount of time. I get spending some money on the Uber for sure.
And it's probably not that much, It's under probably $20. So.
Yeah, probably not.
Just you can't get the fish tacos then if you get an Uber.
Oh, I don't even want to get into that. Now, Disney Resort guests get free towels at the water parks, which is great. Yeah. But otherwise, you're going to have to rent a towel. It's $2 per towel. Ooh. And but if you're a local, you're more than welcome to bring your towels for sure. Yeah. And
you could still bring in beverages. You can still bring in beverages and snacks of your own if you want to. That's right.
Just like Disney World, they don't encourage it, but you totally can. You can bring your whole peanut butter and jelly sandwich and all your snacks for the day. We have plenty of people that we know that do that, and it makes sense. I remember when I was a youngin', we used to bring a lot of Pop-Tarts, and that was eat our breakfast on a monorail and that kind of thing.
Back in my day, you used to have to eat breakfast on the monorail.
Well, I'm not sure I sound exactly like that.
You used to have to take 2 monorails to get into... you do? Okay. Anywho.
Yep. So this year, Typhoon Lagoon is going to open on March 17th. And then, of course, on March 17th, that's when Blizzard Beach is going to close. This park, Typhoon Lagoon, I should say, originally opened in June of 1989. So it is not a newbie park. It is a seasoned park. Yep. And the theme of the park is the Disney legend of Typhoon. Was that a typhoon wreaked havoc upon a formerly pristine tropical paradise. Ships, fishing gear, and surfboards are strewn about where the storm flung them. Its centerpiece is Miss Tilly, which is a shrimp boat that was impaled upon a mountain named Mount Mayday that erupts a 50-foot geyser of water every half hour, right before the bells of the watch sound on it. And it's the mascot over at Typhoon Lagoon is the Laguna Gator. So you'll see him hanging about.
Actual gator.
Cute little story. Little fishing gear and everything strewn all about.
There's an actual alligator in the wave pool?
No, not an actual, but a little cute statue of Laguna Gator.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about Blizzard Beach.
So I did like Typhoon Lagoon, but after I saw Blizzard Beach, I was like, oh, that is definitely the winner of the two.
You want to go during the winter.
Yeah, it was just very cool looking. Again, all the water is heated. I would like that at any time of year. I'm a warm water person. This Blizzard Beach originally opened in April 1995. The thing that I really loved about it that like caught my eye is that they have a cute beach chair themed chairlift.
Okay.
So imagine if you were like going up in a ski lift. That's exactly what it is, but except it's beach chairs.
I like it.
Going through. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's cute. It looked cute from afar. It kind of had that pattern that the boardwalk has with the umbrellas and stuff. Anyway. All right. According to Disney legend, a freak snowstorm on January 11th, 1977 in the area led to the development of Florida's first ski resort. Ski lifts were put up, toboggan runs were laid down, and an entire resort area blossomed around the mountain of snow. Naturally, because of the normal temperatures in Florida, the snow dissipated very quickly and the snow rapidly turned into slush. This left behind a collection of waterlogged yet snowless ski jumps and chairlifts. The operators were preparing to cut their losses and walk away. However, they were interrupted by a loud yell coming from the summit of the mountain of melting snow and looked up to see a blue alligator sliding down the mountain at the top speed. Ice Skater, the mascot, then landed in a pool of melted snow at the base of the mountain with a thunderous splash. The ski resort operators suddenly saw the park's potential, and the mountain of snow became Disney's Blizzard Beach, the most slushy, slippery, exhilarating water park anywhere.
Well, that is quite the legend.
They even have a Frozen themed play area with small water slides and fun features.
Frozen? You mean Anna and Elsa?
That's right.
I hope I see Olaf there in summer.
I hope you see Olaf there too. It's really cool. They have like a kind of a what is that show? Not Gladiators that you watch with the kids, but it's like they do those challenges and they fall in the water all the time. It's not like, is it a lava show?
Well, there's Flora's Lava.
Is it Flora? So like this, there's a water area that kind of reminds me of Flora's Lava, except they're like jumping on little icebergs and going across, and like
kids would love that.
Yeah, there's like different kind of like activities that they can do throughout it. Yeah, it's cute.
See, I think they would really enjoy that.
Yeah, they might.
Would we enjoy that?
I would force joy upon myself. That's what I would do.
Sounds like, is that something, force joy upon yourself?
Well, I mean, there was that time, my daughter really wanted to go to a water park for her birthday, and I swallowed my fear of pool sharks, and I went, and it was great. She talks about it all the time. This was like 5 years ago.
It was a good time.
It was wonderful.
So if we have an early flight on the day we get in, we'll be there. Maybe.
Probably. I don't know. See. We'll see.
It's cool. I want to check them out just to be able
to say we checked it out.
Yeah, exactly. And they got cool things. And it has the Disney touch, you can't go wrong with the Disney touch.
That's so true. Well, so talking about 2025, I was just kind of doing a little bit of research. And of course, Family Travel Planner always comes out with their yearly, these are the best weeks to go. But, People magazine actually released the cheapest days to visit Disney World in 2025. So I wanted to share those with you. Disney lovers should consider booking on August 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th, or September 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
I'm going to say most of the days in September.
Save on their magical getaways. They did some price comparisons and whatnot, and these were the dates that were the cheapest dates so far in 2025.
And probably the least populated. I agree. The end of August and then September when everyone's back in school.
Yep.
I agree.
There was a good while that we used to go at the end of August for sure. I think because the crowds were lower and that kind of thing.
That's when you could.
Now we just go when we can go. But yeah, I mean, we'll come out with some more information about what the least expensive dates are. I would never claim them to be the cheapest because it all seems to average out somewhere.
Exactly. When you're paying for $2 for a towel, it all works out in the end.
But not if you stay on Disney Resort property. You get that towel for free.
Well, yep, for free. Along with the room.
Yeah. What's happening in your world, babe?
So we were talking about Disney, the Disney touch, right? And the Disney properties. So one piece of Disney property, which is over in Disney Springs, is called the NBA Experience. Right? Mm-hmm. So that was an entity that opened in 2017.
Oh.
And it replaced Disney Quest.
Yeah, that's right.
Which opened back in 1998. Right. Back in downtown Disney, and it was the first part of like an expansion that they were expanding downtown Disney into like other, besides just having restaurants and bars and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was this Disney Quest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever go to Disney Quest?
You know, I feel like I don't know because I can vividly remember seeing it in my mind. So I know that I've like passed it or been near it. I'm not sure if I went in.
No, Disney Quest was like a big like interactive arcade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like I never went. It was during my blackout times of going to Disney, especially going to downtown. I would never have back in those days going to downtown Disney at all.
Were you too cool?
Damn right I was. But if I knew this was there, I probably would have went. They had like really like they had all these like a VR attraction, Aladdin's Magic Carpet Ride. I mean, it just sounds like that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
They have a virtual jungle cruise where you're actually like in a paddle in a boat and you're actually paddling like.
That's fun. That is cool.
Like as an interactive thing. I mean, they had all these like cool. Like Mighty Ducks pinball slam. Just that sounds amazing. Like sign me up. Take all my money.
Yeah. For sure.
I guess what the problem was that people were going in the 2000s now, in 2010, so on, and just Disney wasn't updating anything. So it still looked very 90s. It had very 90s feel to it. They said the rides were the 3D, like they didn't update the screens, and so everything was just kind of old. They were trying to expand. That was the first. They opened one in Disney Springs, then they opened one in Philadelphia, and they opened one in Chicago. And I guess they all said that they were all like profitable entities, but they weren't profitable enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they ended up closing them, and then they ended up closing Disney Quest in 2017, and they opened up the NBA Experience, which was a part of a partnership because NBA was part of with Universal, and they left City. They had something over in City Walk, and on Universal, and then they left there and came over to Disney.
Okay.
And then so they opened up this Disney Experience, and that was like again an interactive. Experience where you could play, it had like a small like courts you could play basketball in.
Oh.
And it had like, games where you were like playing against NBA stars and things like that. That closed at the beginning of the pandemic for obvious reasons.
Right.
And they just ended up, they furloughed all their employees. And it just never reopened. They just decided due to it wasn't like that big of a hit.
Yeah, I wouldn't see how that would be. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. No. It just, the NBA, it's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. In Disney Springs, it just doesn't feel like the right place for it.
It's not the right. Yeah, no.
So that's been closed. They just like officially announced. Well, I think they actually officially announced in 2022 that it wasn't going to reopen, but no one knew it was going to go there. They just people over at the what's that, WDWNT? It's I forget what that actually stands for. But they found that permits were taken out on the property for like demo permits. So there's gonna be some type of demolition going on there. They're not saying what's gonna open on that property, but there's speculation that I don't know if anyone else heard this announcement. Any gamers in the world, any gamers listening to this, or kids that game, you're aware of the video game Fortnite, which was, like took the world by storm, probably the biggest game ever at this point. They announced that Disney and Fortnite are like collaborating to like create this massive metaverse, where it's more than just like Disney characters in the Disney Fortnite game. Fortnite is a game where it's like, you have a player and you could earn and or buy skins, and that was a very popular thing where kids were like spending, they're getting their parents' credit cards and spending, hundreds of dollars on a Darth Vader skin. So it's gonna be more than just like, your character's gonna look like Mickey Mouse. It's supposed to be like this whole thing where they have to bring in, you can like online shop it's like there's going to be this whole thing, but it's basically saying Disney was, I think, ponying up somewhere like $1.5 billion to have an equity stake in Epic Games, which owns Fortnite. Anyway, they're saying that there's speculation that they could be opening some sort of Fortnite center in Disney Springs. Which maybe whether you're there playing games or it could be something along that. And I think that could be a hit, because again, my big complaint with Disney Springs is if you're not big into shopping, which I'm not. Right. And I mean, obviously everyone likes to eat, but I like, for kids, there's not like a ton to do. Like we bring them to like the Lego store. We let them,
the M&M store. We let them look at all the colors.
Or if we ever bring them into the World of Disney store, and then we're there for 3 hours because they can't decide on what thing they want to buy with their gift cards. I need something else, beyond that. We do like going bowling, so we do that.
But we love that.
If they were opening something cooler and it was up to date, I mean, Fortnite's a little bit past its prime at this point, but it's still something I think kids would enjoy to go to. Yeah. If it had that Disney feel.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Excuse me. So that was just my kind of speculation here.
That's so interesting. I mean, I'll be really excited to see what they turn that into.
Well, there's always like other properties besides the major theme parks that are going on. Beyond that, didn't really have too much else in the Disney front. I had some news over about Universal.
Ooh, what's happening at Universal?
So they finally announced full details for DreamWorks Land at Universal Studios Florida.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? I don't think you are. I don't think you are. Yeah. They have, in the Trolls Land, a troller coaster. You heard it here first. You heard it here, people. A troller coaster. I think Abby said it.
Yeah,
weeks
we knew
ago.
that.
So like you're gonna be like a caterpillar and you're gonna be going around.
That's cute.
Poppy's Playground will be found nestled under a 20-foot tall mushroom. A shaded play area full of colorful flowers and bugs. Then there's going to be Trolls Treats, or Poppy's Boombox from Trolls Band Together, which our Bailey loves requesting that as she likes. Let's play Trolls. She can't remember the name of the movie, but
Trolls have kind of been like around for our kids' whole lives. So even when Heidi was like really little, like 1 or 2, I had had her puppy wristwatch, and
Okay.
you'd like tap it and it'd go hug time. And so she'd just walk around and go like this, hug time, hug time. It's such a good memory. Anyways.
Well, see, then I think we got to bring them to Trolls, the DreamWorks land.
I think they'd enjoy it.
There's also going to be a Kung Fu Panda area, which doesn't really seem to have any rides. It's just like it kind of looks like everything has like water play areas, but not necessarily like anything to like a cute attraction or anything. But like you will be able to like interact with Po, who is, the Kung Fu Panda, via digital animated screen and stuff. So they're going to have him up on like screens things, and I'm sure the kids of that enjoyed that film will like that one. There's also a Shrek land, which, as we know, Shrek is also kind of a somewhat dated, right? They closed down all the other Shrek 4Ds, but they will have that. The new attraction is Shrek's Swamp Meet, where guests will be able to encounter Shrek, Princess Fiona, and Donkey outside of Shrek's iconic swamp home.
That's fun.
And then you're actually going to be able to go like in Shrek's home, and there's like a slide, and you could climb and play. And it's all this area is meant for the smaller children, right?
Yeah.
I think, again, if we went and brought our kids there, they would love it for about a half an hour or so, and they would tire themselves out and do all types of things. Bailey would probably want to stay there forever because she likes things that are low risk, I guess, and especially the Trolls part. She didn't tend to be Poppy the entire time. So that was DreamWorks. The other interesting thing happening over at Universal is cutting costs. If we didn't know, we've been talking about it, right? They got rid of the 3D glasses on Kong. They're cutting back ride times.
They're closing certain parts of the park.
Yeah, exactly. One of the rides it's been much maligned, much talked about. It's one of those rides that you love to hate or hate to love, whatever you want to look at it, is Fast and Furious Supercharged.
I know. We waited in a gray hallway forever to see. It was a weird.
Ride. So yeah, we had the unlimited express pass for when we went to Universal, because where we were staying, and it brought us like directly into this hallway, and it was like darkened out, and there was no pictures on the hallway. It was like literally like a back way. There was like nothing to like entertain
and
you.
It was so
and there wasn't
boring.
even like there was a door, and there wasn't even like an employee there like telling us, there's the ride's delayed or anything. It was just like nothing. It's just like people waiting. We were like, what is happening? We ended up waiting. I actually really enjoyed the ride, because of these. It has these like two different areas that they bring you in, and it's like these, I'll call them, I forget what they call them, cast members or so on. They're like, they do this like interactive skit with like these videos
that was actually really funny,
and they do a good job, and it's like the back and forth and the banter that they have with these, obviously filmed cast of the movie. I enjoyed it. I was laughing. You get on this ride, and it's kind of underwhelming, and it was a 3D ride. Anyway, it's always kind of it's not a very popular ride. Not a lot of people go on it. It's closing in August through November. That's all they're saying right now. But so what it normally does is, obviously, Universal Halloween Horror Nights runs from August to just after, the beginning of November, and Halloween and Fast and Furious Supercharged is kind of like right in the middle of where one of the scare zones,
right? And
it would normally close at night, so it was just open during the day and then closing. But now they're just going to close it, like the entire time. So they don't know if it's going to come back or not.
That's really strange.
Yeah, the Fast and Furious franchise. There's one more coming. I think they're doing one more movie and then they're done, or maybe two more. I can't even remember anymore. But so I could kind of see that going away. Again, the ride's kind of a meh once you get on the actual ride itself. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they say. It's fine. But they're definitely like cutting back in costs, which is crazy because they're opening a whole nother theme park,
right?
Which has to be costing,
oodles.
Yeah, I mean a ton of money, but they're really nickel and diming in the other parks. Like I could see pretty much like they're probably not giving out enough napkins and
right, yeah.
Like I can see they really are trying to pinch their pennies and stretch to get to this Epic Universe opened.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But, that is the entertainment business, right?
Exactly. So that's
Feast
what we
and
have.
Famine.
That's what we have going on in the parks this week.
That's right. I mean, that was our Express roundup for the Disney Hour Express with a little bit of Universal in there. And we enjoyed hanging out with you tonight.
This has been a Family Travel Planner production.